This is the ORBEA RISE M-LTD, the lightweight, low-powered e-bike with 140 millimeters of travel. Last spring, I did a long rambling review, which I'll link to above. Today, I'm going to do a quick run through and give you some quick thoughts. This build of the bike focuses on weight reduction, and it comes in at just over 36 pounds, which is just under 17 kilos, which is absolutely incredible for an e-bike. It comes with 140 millimeter Fox 34 float factory fork. That puts the head tube angle at 66 degrees. Some of the other builds come with 150 millimeter Fox 36 fork. That puts the head tube angle at 65.5 degrees. You can also add an air shaft to the Fox 34 to boost it from 140 to 150, which I plan to do. Now some guys are actually over forking to 160 millimeters as well as boosting the rear travel to 160, throwing on a mullet and getting that head tube angle down to about 64.5 degrees, which is perfect if you want to ride this thing up on steeper, jankier trails. I'll add a link above and below to MTB Mike. He does a great job at documenting one of those conversions. The Rise comes with the Shimano EP8 RS motor. The RS stands for Rider Synergy and is a specific firmware update for the Rise that reduces the power of the EP8 from the standard 85 newton meters down to 60 newton meters. One of the goals of this specific firmware tuning is to give the bike a natural feel when you pedal. You don't blast off the minute you stomp on the pedal from that electric power. Another goal is to reduce the energy requirement so you don't need such a big battery to power the motor. In this case, the battery is only 360 watt hours, and that helps keep the weight of the bike down to that 37 pound range. The M-LTD comes with the Shimano XTR drivetrain. Smooth shifting and lightweight, it fits perfectly with the goal of the bike. It comes with XTR brakes. I generally prefer SRAM for the modulation, but you can't really complain with XTR. They are only 2 piston brakes though. I'm a pretty lightweight rider and I don't ride overly aggressive, so 2 piston works pretty good for me. For bigger riders or riders that are far more aggressive, you may want to consider making sure that you do have 4 piston brakes on here. The rotors are 180 millimeter, and if I was doing an upgrade, I probably would throw a set of 200s up on the front. My M-LTD came with the E13 carbon crank. There were issues with those cranks with the spindle caps falling off. My crank actually fell off mid-ride once. So it looks like the teams at ORBEA have identified that issue and are now shipping with a Shimano crank instead. Up in the cockpit, mine came with the Raceface Next 35 bar. I actually replaced it with a Oneup Carbon bar just for some added flex. As for grips, I spoiled myself and went with the Revgrips to help with the hand buzz. Do you need them? No. Are they nice to have? Absolutely. Taking a look at rear suspension, the M-LTD comes with the Fox Float DPS factory shock. It offers 140 millimeters of travel. It's lightweight, again going with the theme of this build. At the time of purchase, the M-LTD was my only option. If I was speccing it out again, I probably would go with something with a heavier shock. I'm a lightweight rider and I'm not overly aggressive on the trails, but my local trails are pretty janky and pretty aggressive. So a little bit of a heavier shock would probably do me some good. For those of you that are a little bit heavier or ride with some aggression, I would consider going up to one of the heavier shocks. My build came with a 150 millimeter Fox transfer dropper. At the time, it was my only option. You can spec it now with a 175 millimeter dropper, and I strongly recommend that you do so. 150 millimeters just isn't enough. I'm a short guy at 5'7", and I have a problem getting my seat right out of the way. The M-LTD comes with a set of Raceface Next SL carbon rims. They're nice and light and perform great on the trails. The default tires were the Maxxis Recon, both front and rear. I found them not to have enough grip, and I swapped them out for a set of DHF up front and DHR II in the rear. If you're doing any serious gravity riding and aren't using this strictly as a trail bike, I would recommend making that swap as well. And in fact, you can make that upgrade upon purchase. When the Rise was first released, I thought it was actually going to start a bit of a renaissance on what e-bikes were going to look like. Specialized came out with the Levo SL and the Kenevo SL, but those are really the only competitors in this lightweight, low-powered bracket. I'm actually quite surprised that more brands aren't coming out with bikes like this. I think there's a real sweet spot and a real market for these bikes that ride like analog mountain bikes, but just have enough power to kind of take off some of the sting on the climbs. I understand what the full powered e-bikes gives the rider. A lot of power, a lot of feeling of being super planted on the trail, but there's nothing like having a bike that's just like a mountain bike. One that you can really work through the corners, that feels light and agile when you're springing around on the trail. The M-LTD came with a great setup for trail riding. And if you want a little bit more gravity, you can go to the M-Team, which comes with that 150mm Fox 36 fork, add some beefier tires, and you've got a great gravity bike. If you want to even do the mods and go up to the 160 like some guys are doing, you can change this into a full-on enduro bike. It just goes to show how versatile this platform is. I wouldn't be surprised if ORBEA takes notice of those mods that are going on out there and eventually come out with a direct competitor to the Kenevo SL, a full-on, low-powered, lightweight enduro bike. So there you have it. There are some thoughts on the ORBEA M-LTD. I really do love this bike, and I hope to see other brands come out with bikes that fit in this low-powered, lightweight e-bike niche. If you like what I'm doing, please hit subscribe down below. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you again next time.